Hold, varlet! Don't you dare attach that foot to my ankle.
This is Cadwell's longest episode yet. Perhaps I can...
That's it! Time to give you knaves what for.
Bizarre visions. Dismembered bodies. I hate necromancy. Cadwell trusts you, Five Claw. You talk to him.
Who's there? Speak up! I'm about to teach these rapscallions a valuable lesson. And yes, I plan to make it hurt. Who's there? Speak up! I'm about to teach these rapscallions a valuable lesson. And yes, I plan to make it hurt. Ah, jolly good. I could use a noble squire for the battle ahead. To battle ahead? Anyway, Zumok Fu has gathered the dismembered parts of the betrayer's body. I can't allow the necromancer to put me, back together. I'm not entirely certain. It's definitely a dark, menacing cavern. Just the sort of place necromancers enjoy hanging around. Oh! Here now! Stop that! Your pardon, noble squire, but I have to go kick myself in the head. I'm off to put a stop to these dastardly villains!
Tarn, can you determine where Cadwell disappeared to?
Of all the foolish, idiotic, misguided things that Cadwell has ever done, this may be the worst of them all. He fancies himself a hero, but he's given Zumog Foom exactly what he needed. I'm no expert on necromancy, but it's obvious that our Cadwell is the last piece Zumog Foom needs to restore the betrayer. He has all the parts of Cadwell's dismembered body, and now Cadwell has handed him the final component, his very essence. Does a soul shriven have a soul? I have no idea how the philosophy of oblivion accounts for such things, but there must be some kernel of the original Cadwell inside the one we know. It stands to reason the necromancer would need that as well. I managed to scry Cadwell's portal before it winked out. It connected to an ancient crypt in the scar, not far from the Stitches. Head there immediately. The rest of us will make preparations and join you as soon as we can.
this new bow? It is most fragrant.
You took your time. Let's talk. Travel never used to take this much out of me. Oh well. Now that you're here, we can begin our investigation of the crypt. The Adept and the Prefect volunteered to scout ahead. They haven't returned. That means it's up to us. We must stop Zumog Foom from reanimating Cadwell the Betrayer. Something has prevented them from returning. I can only assume the necromancers or their undead have done them in. Where they were forestalled, we must prevail. Otherwise, Zumog Foom and the dragons get one step closer to fulfilling their plans. Don't be a fool. Our first priority is to stop Zumog Foom and keep him from aiding the dragons. After that, we can worry about everything else. Provided we survive, of course. Cadwell, what happened to you?
Thorn, the whole spot. They ripped it out of me. I'm afraid I bungled this one royally, old friend. I opened a portal, meant to put the villainous Zumog Foom to the sword. He got the better of me. The necromancer stole my essence, flung it to assorted ritual sites throughout the lair. Now I'm weak and my old body is being restored. The big cat and the Imperial, they arrived shortly after I did, but they didn't fare much better. I'm not sure what Zumog Foom did with them. I've just been standing here trying to recover enough strength to give it another go. Charge me up again? Capital idea, and I agree. We can't let the betrayer join the dragons. That reminds me of a time. No. Can't think. Too weak. I'll stand with you as long as I can. Could use a bit of a lie down, though.
I'll delay Zumog Foom's ritual as long as I can. You take Cadwell and see if you can recover his stolen energy.
Ah, good old Abner. The nastier he treats you, the more you know he loves you.
You left us to die, Kalo.
Our blood is on your hands.
No! I won't allow you to interfere with the ritual! That glowing cloud. It's holding this ritual together.
Refreshing. Let's find the rest of me and put it back where it belongs.
Those soldiers were under my command. They died following my orders. Thank you for releasing me from that ordeal. Other than torturing me, I think it was part of a larger ritual being performed by Zumog Fum. They were using my suffering, merging it with Cadwell's energy to... I don't know, it felt like something was feeding from me, growing stronger. Fum's followers fell upon us the moment we entered the crypts. We never stood a chance. They dragged us in different directions and immediately began the ritual. I assume Zamorak was taken deeper into the lair.
You were never strong enough, Zamorak. I died because you were weak.
Praying to the moons won't save you, cat. Interloper. Just more fuel for the...
Zamorak failed. Again.
Welcome back, little energy. I missed you so.
Zamorak always fails the ones who count on him the most. Careful, Walker. You do not know the burden that Zamorak carries. The guilt Zamorak feels whenever he remembers those he failed. How dare you say... No. No, you are right to chide Zamorak. This one let the necromancers wield his guilt against him. Never again. The scent of death and decay is stronger through that door. Go. Stop Zumog Fum. Zamorak will catch up.
You're a senile old fool, half-brother. How could you be so reckless? The dragons are your fault!
Your past will destroy you, Abner Thorne.
Get rid of that damn cloud! spot. Did you know I used to be a High Chancellor? No, wait. No, that bit belongs to Abner.
Zumog Foom is stronger than I anticipated. Or perhaps my powers have degraded more than I realized. Either way, you arrived just in time. If I had to listen to my half-sister prattle on for an instant longer, I would have chewed my own arm off. Believe me, it wasn't my intent when I opened the portal. Foom used a siphoning ward of some sort. It redirected my spell and trapped me in that cloud of energy. They're using Cadwell's essence to power their ritual. It's rather ingenious, actually. I really have no idea. Perhaps it was an echo pulled from my deepest, most morose memories. Perhaps not. While I recover my strength, head through the southern door, I sense a culmination of magic. Zumog Foom must be close to completing his ritual.
Five Claw. This one doesn't have much time. Nalado should not be here. This one should be prowling the sand behind the stars and preparing for the next pounce, not lingering in this fetid tomb. Zumog Foom called Nalado back. He planned to use her in a foul ritual, but dead or no, Nalado is still a soldier. His follower never stood a chance. This one sensed something. Decided to wait here a little longer. Nalado thought the cloud of energy reminded her of the strange knight adorned in cookware. This one thinks she absorbed the energy when she killed the necromancer and disrupted this part of the ritual. Return it? Perhaps, though that will certainly shred this spirit form. No matter, Nalado no longer belongs in this realm. Tell Queen Carmira and Garashri that Nalado says farewell. Now, prepare yourself, strange knight. This belongs to you.
The cat captain, she's sacrificed herself. For me. I don't know what to say. We need to hurry, my friend. Zumog Foom is almost finished, and I'm starting to find this whole looking through two sets of eyes thing to be quite disorienting.
You really think you can stop me? Neither you nor that bumbling corpse stand a chance!
Corpse? I'll have you know, I'm barely 1/4 cadaver on my mother's side. What's...
Two of you can't exist in the same reality, soul-shriven! The stronger the betrayer becomes, the weaker you will grow! Let the essence of death flow free!
Like I'm fading away.
Oh, jolly good sir. Of course I planned to deal with the orc myself once my reanimation was complete. Now that I'm whole, I have a destiny to fulfill. So, cheerio. I always heard that introspection could be difficult. Meeting yourself. No one likes to discover that they were a tallow catch. Try not to hold it against me. Him and me with two sides of a dented coin. I don't think the world can handle more than one Cadwell at a time. My essence, I feel it draining away. Strange as the end approaches, so does clarity. You will try to stop him for me, won't you? Finish what I started a long, long time ago. I remember how we stopped the dragons. Quinzari and I, we tricked Count Gronti, used his own ambition against him, convinced him to place a portion of his power in Jode's core. Count Gronti ordered his brothers to follow suit. Once weakened, we were able to trap them in the halls of Colossus. Then the betrayer, then I killed Quinzari. I earned that name. I planned to steal the power, but Anequina's adepts... I'm still here. Chimera, she looks like Anequina. So pretty. Anequina possessed a key to a special place. That's where I learned to use portals. Luckily, they cut off my head and dismembered me before I could reach Jode's core. I guess you have to chop him up again. Tell Chimera she has the key, and look after the little honor and good steed.
Nequina was a moon priest. Could that be the key to using the dragon horn?
The same notion occurred to me, Queen Chimera.
Wait, here comes Tarn and the others. Five Claw, talk to me. I am happy to see you and the others, Five Claw, and I'm eager to hear what happened. Wait, where is Cadwell? That does not bode well. The betrayer of Kunzari was a great hero who became a terrible villain. It took all the remaining champions and the moon priests of Anequina to stop him. But how does the betrayer's return help the dragons? A special place? That does not give us a lot of information to go on, Five Claw. Did Cadwell tell you anything else before he disappeared? The ancient legends. I have been studying them. They mention Jode's core, a vault of some kind. Kunzari tricked the demons into storing their power there, though now we know that the demons were dragons. A metaphor, yes? As for a key... Everyone, meet in the royal study. I have something to show you. Cadwell spoke of Anequina, one of Kunzari's champions. He mentioned a key. I think he meant my pendant.
Zamorak remembers. Your mother wore it before you. Does it have more than sentimental significance?
It hides me from magical detection. Mother would take my pendant in her hand and whisper, "When Kunzari smiled, Anequina asked the moons to move for him."
The Shadow Dance Temple ruins. Is that where the betrayer has gone?
I discovered as a young girl that the pendant and this ancient map interact in interesting ways. I learned the stories of Kunzari from my mother. Did I tell you she was a moon singer before she married my father? She said the pendant once belonged to Anequina. I am related to Anequina. Direct descendant, according to the moon priests. An ancient ruin. The place was once the Shadow Dance Temple, but now it is nothing but tumbled stones. Still, Cadwell indicated the pendant was the key to finding the betrayer. What else do we have to go on? Yes, from Kunzari's story. He tricked the demons into giving him their power. Then Anequina moved the moon so he could store the power in Jode's core for safekeeping. Of course, now we know the demons of the story were actually the dragons. In their weakened state, Kunzari was able to trick the dragons and trap them in the halls of Colossus. But one of his companions betrayed him, stabbed him in the back, and went to the place of the Dark Dance to steal the demon power. I think you are right, Five Claw. The betrayer must want to finish what he started in the ancient time. But the dragons also want that power. Are they working together? Either way, we need to get to the temple ruins. As we saw on the map, the ruins lie in the foothills east of the Scar, between Orcrest and the town of Hakoshe. We will meet you there.
We need to send your Cygnus irregulars to the Moongate, Prefect Kalo.
Agreed. We've been practicing in anticipation of joining forces for more than a year.
A year? But a year ago we were still enemies.
Perhaps. But I always knew we'd wind up fighting the Araxians side by side someday.
When the 16 kingdoms hero ambled forth, all tall and tough and wise. How sleek he is, how fragrant, a 5-claw, no, a 10. He wrestles giants just for fun, and charges into Senchi's den.
I'm getting much done here.
Sing it loud, sing it clear. Fighter, lover, poet, thief. He's one Khajiit to cheer. Who is he? Kunzari, Kunzari. Sing it loud, sing it loud. He's shy, he never steers you wrong. No dungeon cage can hold him, no lock can bar his way. Some stories claim that he's a god, or so they say. He dragged the light from dawn and joy down to the growing fields, and now we have moon sugar and all the goody deeds. Who is he? Kunzari, Kunzari. Sing it loud, sing it clear. Fighter, lover, poet, thief. He's one Khajiit to cheer. sun shines down on me. The darkness years ago makes me weak, and after the flames devoured their breath, I stood above mourning all that death. What then became of me, I cannot say. As the moon shone down on me, I chose to follow an ill-lit path, staring from a starlit sky. Moon's stark radiance, witness then die. What then became of me, I dare not say. We must survive despite the ravages of life, cruel life, with its suffering and injustice. As death surrounds us, but can we thrive when all hope has fled before us? All that's left is grief and shallow graves. The march of darkness goes on. What can we do? We just survive. Decades later, who are we? And after that dire crucible of death, did we pay too high a price to walk away knowing all we know? What then became of us? No one should say. We have survived despite the ravages of life, cruel life, with its suffering and injustice. When death hounded us, but can we thrive after what we paid to get here? Who are we now? We dare not say. The march of darkness goes on. What can we do? What have we become?
You helped the clan mother retake Orentia. Bright moons, and well done.
Fuskuda!
Perhaps a director. You wouldn't happen to be traveling to the town of Hakoshey, would you? I'm investigating a rumor about the town's leader, Magnate Faina Darok. Word has it that she's a descendant of the Akaviri potentate. A rather curious rumor, given that the potentate's bloodline should have been wiped out over a century ago. It's a personal matter pertaining to my grandfather's legacy. Painful as it is to say, my family's reputation depends on proving this rumor false. You wouldn't happen to be looking for work, would you? I could use a lending hand. Why don't you begin by speaking to the lady in question? The magnate should be in the town square. Strike up a conversation and see what she reveals. In the meantime, I'll begin my own investigation. See what I can dig up. Hakoshey was built after the fall of the Akaviri potentate. It's been... let's see now. A little over 100 years now? Yes, right around that. The town was founded by the Akaviri refugees who fled during that time. The Akaviri come from the land of Akavir, a continent east of Tamriel. They first invaded Tamriel in the First Era, but were ultimately convinced to join the Empire. Hakoshey is populated by their descendants. Yes, the Akaviri took the fall of the potentate as a rather obvious sign that they were no longer welcomed in Cyrodiil. Many of them fled to Elsweyr. Hakoshey is but one of the settlements that was founded. I suppose that's a matter of perspective. After all, generations of imperial marriages have considerably thinned the bloodline. Still, Hakoshey does strive to maintain Akaviri culture and customs, starting with the town's rather distinct name. Potentate Vesidou Shey began his political career as advisor to Emperor Riemann III. When the Emperor was assassinated, the potentate stepped up as Cyrodiil's leader. Very fortunate for Vesidou Shey, of course. He was Emperor in all but name. So goes the rumors, though nothing was ever proven. Unsurprisingly, an Akaviri on the Ruby Throne created conflict. The potentate was eventually assassinated himself. A few decades later, his heir was similarly slain. The Morag Tong, of course. Who else would be so competent? Following the death of potentate Severian Chorak and his heirs, a large number of Akaviri and their followers left Cyrodiil. Many wound up here in Elsweyr. As an agent of the Morag Tong, my grandfather had the honor of executing the last remaining heir of the Akaviri potentate. But here's the tricky bit. My grandfather and the heir both disappeared during the attempt. The Morag Tong presumed them dead. If Magnate Fenadarak truly is the descendant of the potentate, it proves without a shadow of a doubt that my grandfather failed. And such failure would be a grave dishonor to my family name. That's why I'm keen to prove this rumor false.
Chimera's waiting for you inside. If the dragon circling overhead spots us, I'll try to drive it off.
Zamorak will assist.
Yes, I'm sure your fists will make all the difference.
Skilled as the carpenters of Corinth. One could say they've carved out their reputation for themselves. No, Rachin is not pleased with that one.
Get back, Rakasha! I won't let you have this one.
Ha! Your blood is too thin. Keep that one as a gift, Yushia, for when you're ready to drink.
Sheath your claws, Walker. This one does not want a fight, but you've walked into a dangerous feud. You should leave the Weeping Scar. Yushiha cannot protect everyone from her former kin. I am an exile of the Tenar Zalvit vampire clan. This wasteland has long been our home. Unforgiving, but we survived in peaceful seclusion through the wisdom of our clan mother. She is gone now, and my clan strays down a treacherous path without her. My blood brother, Rakasha, tempts my clan to give in to their thirst. He urges them to abandon our way of life and prey on the caravanners without restraint or mercy. I must divert them from this path, but I am losing the fight. Yushiha is grateful. This caravaner she saved was not alone. Help her check on their camps. Warn them. Protect them if necessary. We must save them from my clan before we can save my clan from themselves. She only hopes it is not too late. He leads the Tenar Zalvit. After our clan mother's death, he promised our blood brothers and sisters a better life. Swayed them to embrace our predatory nature. He played on their fears and drove out his dissenters. Yushiha is the only one who still remains. Once Rakasha's followers tasted the blood of our living cousins, those who resisted were easily driven out. He is right about one thing. Living on thin-blooded animals indeed made us weak. He blames our pacifist ways for all our troubles, and has renounced them. Rakasha believes embracing our nature as vampires is the only way to protect us from harm, but all he'll do is make enemies and draw them to us. I believe our clan mother's wisdom was the only thing that has kept us alive this long. She knew that turning on our living kin was short-sighted. If Rakasha has his way, I am certain it will lead to our destruction. Before the flu, we only drank blood that was offered to us. But after it wiped out Orcrest, we have had to make do with feeding on animals. This is not a lush land. It was a lean life, but it was peaceful. That was very long ago. Nearly at the edge of memory, Walker. Back when the 16 kingdoms of Khajiit became 2, my family was taken by the Thracian plague, and I brought them to Tenar Zalvit to find rest. I offered the clan mother everything. The world outside seemed as if it was about to end. I had nothing, no purpose, no future. The clan gave me all 3. The lifetimes I have spent watching over the departed have been far less troubled than those of my living kin. Until now. A cabal of necromancers raided our home. The burial site our clan watched over for centuries. She defied their leader, and was destroyed. The rest of us could only stand by helplessly as they desecrated the dead. We lost everything that night. Our clan served as the caretakers of the Tenar Zalvit ossuary, when there was anyone left to seek burial. Khajiit made offerings of blood for us to watch over their dead. We coexisted like that for hundreds of years, until tragedy struck. Our troubles began with the Nahatan flu. It swept through Orcrest like a flood, leaving death in its wake. The tide of dead rolled in until our vaults were full, and those who survived begged us to spare them. We took pity and agreed. Our clan grew from a small handful to a settlement in itself. In an instant, we lost our main source of food and gained many more mouths to feed. We hoped to leave, but our clan mother feared we would carry the flu with us and sequestered the clan.
getting myself busy.
Nobody interferes with our business! Nobody!
Can't you see the boss is busy? Let me teach you some manners.
Tear them apart!
With pleasure. but you are going to pay for that!
Won't be good for business.
Work! Farmhands needed at Mother's farm! Roxargo's mother is very nice. He promises. Oh, Roxargo works so hard.
Chimera's waiting for you inside. If the dragon circling overhead spots us, I'll try to drive it off.
Zamorak will assist.
Yes, I'm sure your fists will make all the difference.
If there is more to this ancient temple, I do not see a way to access it. This is the right place. I can sense it. But nothing in this chamber looks like it can make the moons move, or open a path to Joan or Jode. What are we missing, Fiveclaw? And Riddlethar knows I have tried everything I can think of. I held it out, I presented it forcefully, I even shook it vigorously, but nothing happened. I do not know what else to do. My memories and the Kunzari stories, everything jumbled together. Too much research has crowded my mind. Wait, maybe... I remember one thing Mother used to say. Maybe if I repeat her words while I hold the pendant. When a Nequina's blood calls, the shadow dance begins.
By the moons, you opened the path.
You go ahead. Zamorak and I will deal with the dragon outside. Somehow.
Moons watch over you. Come, Fiveclaw. Let us see where this leads. Beautiful. Why was this hidden for so long? This place has guardians, it seems, but they could not stop the betrayal. The betrayer sent. He came this way. That relic. See what you can make of it, Five Claw. The spirits awakened. The temple recognized me. I am becoming attuned.
Sir Cadwell, you're part of Kunzari's Krajun. Why are you doing this?
I want what Kunzari hid away, and I need to move the moons to reach it. If a few counts must die along the way, what of it?
You're insane!
You talk to your new god like that? Manners!
The temple. It shows us how the betrayer became attuned. Another temple relic. Activate it for me, Five Claw. I understand. Moving the moons causes an eclipse. That opens the way to Jode's core.
It's almost a shame how Inequina's faithful keep throwing themselves at my blade. Almost.
relic. There it is. Activate it, please. Now, 5 more. We need to reach the temple sanctuary. Wait, my friend. Let us talk before we confront the betrayer. The ancient memories become clearer in my mind with every passing moment. We follow the same path as the heroes of legend. Kunzari, Anequina, the betrayer, they all walked these steps to reach Jode's core. I see the truth of the myths and legends. Kunzari tricked Calgrontiid into storing the might of the dragons in Jode's core. Then, the heroes of the Krajun lured them into the halls of Colossus and sealed the doors. Yes, he murdered Kunzari and then came to this temple to gain the power to move the moons and open the way to Jode's core. You see, the path only appears at the moon gate of Anequina when the moons are aligned, as in an eclipse. True. But many died before they lopped off his head. The betrayer was the greatest warrior of his day. If it comes to a battle, it will not be an easy one. There is an apparatus in the sanctuary, linked to the larger moon gate. That is what we seek. We are about to enter the place where the betrayer faced his greatest failure. Where he died at the hands of the remaining heroes and moon priests. We must make sure history repeats itself. The shade of Anequina darkens with rage whenever I think about him. Even before his betrayal, she detested the man. He was vain, proud, a great sword fighter, but full of ego and hubris. Perhaps that is his weakness, his pride. The betrayer did something to the apparatus. The moons cannot hear my plea. No. The betrayer has set the moons in motion, and they will not answer to my song. There is nothing to stop the dragons from using the moon gate of Anequina to reach Jode's core. Not yet. This apparatus moves the moons, but the moon gate of Anequina creates the portal to Jode's core. Luckily, I sent forces there to defend it from the dragons. We will join them. But first, the memories tell me we have one more task here. Anequina's memories show me how she once used a dragon horn. The combat dragon horn you gave me. It needs to be energized, have its power restored. Activate the nearby temple relic, and I will charge the dragon horn. Anequina, Cadwell, John, and Jode. All of it into the dragon horn.
A dip in cold hard is refreshing pleasant, and I'm fit as a fig tree. Now, where's the evil me? Where is the fiend? Let me at him. I returned as soon as I could to help you give the betrayer a good threat. I feel tip-top, I must say. I thought it was the cozy confines of my beloved Cold Harbor, but I suppose it has more to do with the destruction of my other half. Well, good show. The world is saved. That doesn't sound good. Let me think. If I concentrate, I can recall what was going through my despicable other self's mind. He wanted to make sure no one could stop the path from opening. He promised the dragons. I'm afraid not, at least not from here. He did something to the apparatus. It can't be used again. Chimera might be able to separate the moons, but she'd need to do it at the moon gate. She looks a little peaked, though, doesn't she?
I am all right. Cadwell, can we use your portal to return to Rimmon?
Of course, Chimera. It's ready.
The eclipse approaches, and with it the opening of the moon gate of Anequina. We have a short amount of time before the way to Jode's core appears. At least I am attuned, and I was able to charge the Dragonhorn. Gareshri has already gone to the moon gate of Anequina to take charge of the forces there. We will join him shortly. Thank you for helping with my attunement, Five Claw. With you and my ancestors beside me, we will find a way to stop the dragons. We stopped the betrayer, but not before he set the moons in motion. Soon they will align. When the eclipse occurs, the moon gate of Anequina will open and grant access to Jode's core, which is exactly what the dragons desire. Some, but not a lot. Luckily, we anticipated the connection to the moon gate and sent Gareshri ahead with whatever forces we could spare, which was not as much as I would like. I just wish we had something else to fall back on. The combat Dragonhorn is charged, but we still do not know its full capabilities. We must not waste its energy, so we will save it until absolutely necessary. We should make our way to the moon gate now. Tell our companions, it is time. Our companions left the palace to wander Rimmon and consider what is to come. Find Abner Tarn, Zamarak, and Prefect Kalo. Cadwell too, if he is still around. I would like them to join us at the moon gate, but will understand if they decide not to. The ancient structure rises out of the jungle far to the southwest. To think, a place known primarily as a pilgrimage stop and historical curiosity may turn out to be the site of Elsweyr's most crucial battle yet. The moon gates are among the oldest ruins in Elsweyr. Of the few sites we know of, the Anequina ruin is the most well-preserved. Moon priests consider it sacred. The Riddle Thar ties it to the lattice. The rest of us, we see a pile of old rocks. I can only tell you what I experienced. I became one with the temple, with all its memories and past experiences. I connected with my bloodline, with the first Anequina herself. I was attuned. I underwent the process of attunement, the same as Anequina and the moon priests of the temple, the same as Cadwell. I know how to make the moons move, provided we find a working lunar lattice apparatus. Some of the stories about Anequina speak of her teleporting from place to place. I see something about portals, but it does not make much sense. Perhaps when I have had 1,000 years to practice, I will be as competent as Cadwell, yes?
Quiet moments to meditate have been rare since Zamarak returned to Elsweyr. This one needed some time alone, especially after helping Tharn with the dragon at the Shadow Dance ruins. But you look like one who has important news, my friend. Zamarak suspected that would be our next destination. This one noticed that the moons have shifted in the sky, moving in a way that breaks their usual pattern. The betrayer's doing, yes? At least you and Queen Kamira returned from the ruins. Then we still have a chance. Zamorak has pledged his honor to Queen Kamira. He will not break that vow. This one has a purpose again, and will see it through no matter the cost. Zamorak will meet you at the Moon Gate, my friend. Queen Kamira, attuned to the lunar lattice. Zamorak never expected to see such a miracle in his lifetime. This one prays that it will be enough when we stand against the dragons. About what you would expect. Tharn used flashy spells to confuse the dragon until it finally gave up and flew away. Then, we encountered a squad of Euraxians led by a necromancer. Those Zamorak dispatched. It was the least this one could do.
Wine used to rejuvenate me after periods of intense exertion and spellcasting. Now I can barely taste the stuff. A good thing, too. Khajiiti wine is cloyingly sweet, like drinking candied plums boiled in moon sugar. I presume you have news? The Moongate? A noble but futile proposition, I fear. The Khajiit should pack up and flee while they still can. Let the Alliance armies deal with this. Show them some fights are more important than deciding whose posterior best fits the ruby throne. No. Just pondering other options. Too much of what we're facing was the inadvertent result of my actions or the actions of my family. Dragons, Euraxians, necromancers. The responsibility falls to me, and balance must be restored. Would you stand a chance otherwise? Without my arcane and strategic insights, anything you try is destined to fail. I won't have that on my conscience. Now, allow me to finish this sickeningly sweet inebriant, one last indulgence before the end. By the way, I believe I understand the purpose of the dragon horn. After much consideration, the use and function of the ancient instrument has become clear. The Dragon Guard were clever, I'll say that for them. Theoretical knowledge isn't the same as practical experience, but I believe I understand the fundamentals of its operation. The Dragon Guard prepared a horn taken from a massive dragon and engraved it with arcane runes, giving it astonishing power. Oh yes, I'm fairly certain of that. And I found historical references indicating the Dragon Guard gifted such relics to key locations, for their protection, you see. The one you located was originally in Rimmen before it was moved to the sanctuary. We have neither the time nor resources to move the large relic, but the small horn you brought back, it's called a combat horn, by the way, was designed to be carried into battle. Once charged with energy, its sound weakens dragons. One problem solved then. The next is sheer age. This ancient combat horn is exceedingly fragile. I'm not sure how many times we can sound the horn before it disintegrates into dust. For that reason, I suggest we save it until we absolutely need it.
to partake in a before-the-battle cleansing, I find it prudent to make myself pristine prior to the start of a slaughter. In my experience, the subsequent blood and gore adheres much better to a well-laundered body. The Moongate. I hope to wash away the memories of the betrayer, but some stenches can't be removed with soap and water. I'm sorry I made the moons move, my friend. Sorry I helped the dragons. But before I became the gallantly gaunt, soul-shriven form you see today, I was the betrayer. I originally did all the terrible deeds that led us to this place. I'm rather ashamed. Dash it all. Yes, of course, that was my plan all along. Make up for my past atrocities by helping the nice cat people defeat the evil dragons, just like the hero I was before I became the betrayer. Tally-ho, then. I'll head to the Moongate now and meet you there. As nice as these facilities are, I miss the boiling plasm pools of Cold Harbor, hot enough to melt the skin right off your bones. What an invigorating sensation. And your point is?
The quiet moments between battles. I like to spend the time catching up on my reading. History, military strategy, recipe books. My secret pleasure is a good mystery, though. And the new Investigator Veil is a real page-turner. I've been waiting for the order to move out. I sent most of the Cygnus Irregulars on ahead with Gareshri, but a small contingent remained here in case our earlier guess was wrong. I assume events in the ruins confirmed our theory? Understood. We need to defend the Moongate and stop the dragons from using it when it opens. Keep them from reaching Jode's core. Well, at least now we have a mission. I just hope the Khajiit can get over their aversion to working with my troops. Queen Euraxia's tyranny made the Khajiit wary. I don't blame them for that. I just want to show them that not all Imperials are tyrants, that they can trust at least a few of us. It will come, as long as we don't turn on each other first.
The point is lost! They have secured the point!
The point is ours!
secured the point! Outstanding! We've secured the point! Oriel, give us strength! The point is lost! By Oriel's grace, the point is ours! Outstanding! We've secured the point! Secure the point!
Yes! The point is ours! We're so close now!
They have secured the point!
little time to waste.
We Khajiit pride on.
Blood spool.
I used to be.